Hey everyone, it's Andrzej Krzywda from 2100 to International Master. I have returned from a recent tournament of mine. It was a team competition in Poland and I made 5 points out of 9. And I earned 14 points of ELO, I think. As a team, we didn't really play very well. We were 16th. My result is here, so I lost 3 games. I drew 2 games and won 4 games. I didn't start very well, 1.5 points out of 4, but then I've had 3 wins in a row, which was great, and then I lost 1 game to Kamil Stachowiak and a nice draw against Marcin Sieciechewicz, who is 24-25, so that was a nice result. Yeah, and the rating changes. Yeah, so that's 7-4 with K20. That means like around 14 points, which means that I will now have 22-46. And for those of you who are new here, I started working on my chess 3 years ago. I was around 2100. Then I gradually got better and better, but really in the 2100 area. By the way, all the previous 10 years were 2100 too. Only this year I jumped out of 2163 to 2158, and then immediately after that to 2296, just to get down to 2232, and now I'll be 2246. So what I can finally confirm, that even though I was very close to 2300, it felt like unreal for me. Now I can tell you that I feel like I belong to the 2200 level. So that's, for me, it's a big improvement and a big journey so far. But again, my goal is to get to 2400, obviously, to get to the International Master title. I want to show you one game quickly. I was playing black against Kamil Gierulski. It was a funny situation because Kamil Gierulski is kind of my sparring partner. We know each other very well. We play online games together, and I never beat him before. We always either drew or he won against me. So I was playing black, and I was kind of okay with playing the hedgehog. Obviously, I knew that he would be prepared for that too, because he knows my openings. And he prepared the bishop g5 line against me. And I really, that's one of the lines that I'm not super good at. Only after that game I educated myself better. And you need to be precise here. So for example, in here rook c8 is not a good move. I should castle, and then after bishop f4, I got knight e8, and that's the way how we play the position. But here I have a problem with the d6 pawn, and after long thinking, that's not a move that a hedgehog player wants to play. But I did that, creating a weakness on d5. So that was a nice trick by my opponent, getting me gradually into a worse and worse position. Here you can see how he's good at maneuvering and positional play. Right now I'm really in a bad situation because my weaknesses, all the white squares are weak, and I don't have any counterplay so far. So I just said, okay, I'll just try to play whatever I can and wait for my chance in this game. With positional players, and my opponent is a typical positional player, I would say, they really try to avoid risks at any cost. So, and I'm a player who can get some risk, so I was looking for my chance here. After some maneuvering here, the e4 moment was important for me, because the e4, in some lines, it opens rook e5, rook h5 maybe. Still nothing really here, but okay, queen f6 with a tempi, and queen e6. One thing is that with b4, I'm preventing b4, because queen c4, and if bc5, rook c5, and I retake the knight here. Also, queen h3 is now an option, so suddenly I get some ideas here. It's still really worse position for me. I need to go back to knight d7, but also the knight is actually planning to go e5, f3 at some point, maybe e5, g4, so it's okay for me to get passive a little bit. Okay, now I'm getting more active. King g2 was a good move. He was preventing all my queen h3 ideas. Bishop g7 was a bad move. I basically lost a tempo here. My bishop belongs here because he needs to protect the d6 pawn, and his rook, I just improved his rook. So sometimes having a tempo that doesn't really work that way. So okay, queen g6, knight d4, f5, knight b5, and now I have to go back, rook, bishop f8. Now the weird moment. So here I was really thinking I'm gonna lose this game, and suddenly he plays king h1, and for me it's like I feel the blood now, and I need to attack. That's my chance. There will be no other chance in this game. So okay, let's go knight e5, sacrificing the b6 pawn, and I'm ready to sacrifice the rook or the exchange here. And he's planning the defense. It was hard for me to believe that he was actually planning to prepare this defense. Like, it looks very passive and looks like suddenly I'm a super great position. So if I had to waste some time now, that would be maybe okay for him to play, I don't know, actually I don't know if this position, maybe knight d5, but it's my move. e3 is again a tempo play, rook e3 is a tempo with rook e2, because, so if they take rook knight c8, I go rook e2, and then there's a big problem with h2. Again, strengthening the e2, and now I was like, I've had like 8 minutes on the clock and having to play 4 moves, and I was calculating, like, the idea of d5 is really like all the hedgehog players, so they want to play d5 at some moment, and in here I was calculating d5, knight d5, and bishop c5, and I just couldn't finish the calculation. Like, it looked great, but I just couldn't see that, and I was like 6 minutes into thinking, so leaving me into like 2 minutes for the next 4 moves, and then suddenly I said, okay, there must be some other moves, and this shows my weakness here. I need to work on that. I need to work more on my candidate moves earlier, so I need to first select my candidate moves and then only then calculate so deeply. Because here there are some ideas. My rook could be active on the third rank of the third line, and only then I noticed the f4 move. So f4 is basically winning on the spot. Like, white has nothing to play in here. The threat is rook g3, and if f4 which was played, there is knight h2 and rook h3. So that's basically the end. We've played this position, which could be defended, but luckily I have a really active position of the queen, and I have the majority of the pawns here. So even though the knights looks very strong, I really have some good play in here. So after coordinating my pieces, bishop e5 basically ends the game. So a nice win. I'm really happy, not because it was a correct game, because it wasn't. I'm really happy that I like turned the game around. It was really a big problem for me how to play this, and then suddenly I got a chance and I used that chance, so that's great. So again, 14 points of ELO earned. I will be 2246 now, so I'm getting there. I'm somewhere like half on my journey to the International Master, and I'm really enjoying this. Thank you for watching my videos.